Hello and welcome to JOKAKAKA. I'm Sam.
And I'm Jim.
And we're back with the Rohan special. The other two one-shots are nowhere to be seen, so we're just going to do Rohan because this is very good and I think it's
Yeah.
pretty good to talk about.
So this is what I want to call the Rohan COVID special.
Yeah.
'Cause
Araki,
it's canonical.
Araki really wanted to talk about his COVID experiences, but don't worry, Rohan's not a self-insert character.
I really appreciate
I do love
this chapter.
Same.
I really love the metaphor that's going on here.
I'm glad Morio survived to 2021.
So I hate to be that guy, but so is the ending of does part 6 end with
Rohan wrote on
universe ending?
Morio saying we are not affected. I thought this was going to lead into the part 6 ending for
because there's an alligator.
No, because the whole time thing was like, oh, maybe this is like if she was how time accelerated and Rohan didn't seem to be affected, but maybe
I can see that.
I thought it was going to tie into that. It would have been weird,
but it's 12 years too late.
Yeah.
Or even more, but so whatever.
It's been done in light novels.
So I guess we're just supposed to, because my understanding, spoilers for the ending of part 6. My understanding was the universe just ends. The universe dies, right?
It restarts essentially. It reboots, I guess.
Yeah, but then doesn't Emperor end it when he confronts Pucci, and then that's when Emperor wakes up in the Irene timeline.
Yeah,
which
Ireneverse.
So I don't know. I don't want to think about this right now. I just want to appreciate this for what it is.
Yeah.
But all it matters is okay. I guess Rohan just still keeps existing as our universe did. That's fine.
George Joestar, he was one of the few people from the original universe to still exist as he was. It was him and Giorno because of their stands.
Yeah.
And Cars, I guess technically, but he's on Mars.
Joestar. Cars is eternal.
There's 36 cars on Mars.
Yeah, very funny. We love the funny joke. All right, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. No more. I refuse to make any more references.
What? No, but NYPD
to
Blue.
Part 6. Or even worse,
George
Joestar.
But yeah, it is a COVID special. Rohan has a dog, which at first makes you go, "Oh no!"
It's very funny. He fakes you out with the dog.
He knows.
Violence.
He's in on the joke. I think now at this point. I mean, even after part 8, that dog somehow.
Iwasuke also had a fake dying moment with the Ozone Baby fight.
Yes.
Where you think that he's gonna explode in his little doghouse.
Even survive Wonder Review.
Yeah. He did it.
And knowing dogs always pursue people they don't know.
That's true. They love pursuing cars in particular. Good thing that Teru doesn't have a car. Oh wait, shit, he has a van.
Yeah, he borrowed it. I don't think it's his car. I think that's the hospital's
All right, this is nothing. This is nothing to do.
This is the episode where we discussed about the legality of Teru's car.
So does Teru have a license?
Does he have enough information on himself to get the 6 points of information?
Well, he wouldn't have a birth certificate.
I mean, he probably forged one by now.
He must have. All right, we can't talk about
I want to talk about the logistics of... Japan probably has completely different rulings of license attaining.
They probably do, yeah. So Rohan has a puppy named Bakin, or Bakin. And basically, it's kind of just Rohan... This whole thing kind of deals with Rohan living through COVID, and it kind of shows how it affected his creative process to the point where he has all of these frustrations, because we've always seen Rohan as this super capable mangaka.
He also been when he's not writing in manga, he kind of is kind of outgoing to explore new things. Even in the one shots, it's him kind of exploring the world or the area to get. That's why he moved to Morio is probably more of a creative boost to get to learn and meet new people. Other than he had to learn from this kidnapping a boy from the town and using him to going around looking at the local landmarks and everything, and he even went out and about looking for a serial killer and everything.
I think that really does make Rohan a perfect protagonist for this anthology series, because you can keep him in Moria or you can ship him to Italy. And also, you can really put him anywhere.
And even after our good guys beat him and he has now on the good guy side, he's still he's still an asshole. And we'll just do stuff for him to win and not really despite morals, I guess.
Even his stand power is very invasive.
Yes.
It just in general, it's horrible what he does.
Which is also, but it also one of the stands that's super overpowered that you have to nerf it in every way possible in a fight.
Kind of. It is kind of overpowered. It's one of those things where if he can touch you, basically it is.
Yes.
But other than that, like it's not like
but like even like
punch ghost really.
But yeah, you go there's like rock paper like RPS kid, which is like it doesn't work on me anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but it's
but
like it's not overpowered in the
is,
way that like Gold Experience Requiem is.
Yeah, from the other Rohan chapter, it's probably the most we've seen of his actual stand though. I feel because we only see it like once in like the corn one, the millionaire.
Millionaire Village.
Yeah, Millionaire. Which speaking of Millionaire Village, his editor. That's who she is.
She's the recurring character from that one.
Yeah, which I kind of like that. Like
I really like that. There's like consistency and like also Mitsukabe.
It's its own world too, and for these one shots of like you do have like a recurring character or two.
Yeah, like the Mitsukabe hill. He refers to, or sorry, the shrine is in Mitsukabe, which is one of the other Rohan ones. It's one of the ones that was adapted actually. The one with he goes to the kind of rural countryside area and there's like a murder.
Yeah,
it's hard to explain that one because there's like twists in it. I don't want to spoil it in case people haven't read that one. But
also episode 10, which is how the chapters are named and are usually different numbers. By the way,
they were. I think he started being consistent with them. So I think this is the 10th one.
Yeah.
But the first one was called like episode 23 or something stupid.
Yeah, it's also called Hot Summer Martha. This
oh,
chapter.
we didn't say that.
I mean, if you're here, you know, but
yeah, I really liked this. It was very good. It was very refreshing to get like new JoJo content.
Yeah. I think he just loves writing Rohan stuff.
Yeah, and I've said this before too, but I just love how it's like freeing for him where he's not tied to making like a fight. Like it doesn't need to be like a stand fight.
Or like especially
it can be like just a weird experience.
And you gotta think this is probably his whole experience during the pandemic era, which is like the total like last part of Wonder Review, which me and you felt like very
was just weird.
It felt like he was kind of just exhausted mentally for the most of it.
Yeah.
Where in this one kind of him venting about like the mindset during the pandemic of just being stuck inside and
yeah, he's
a very outgoing guy from what we've seen, like, but he likes to like, you know, travel and everything.
Yeah, to not get caught in like all the details of the story. The big issue with that Rohan's having is he's having issues with his editors. That's hard to say.
That could just be any time in Araki's life.
That's
though.
True. But particularly, he has this kind of conflict where he's not able to experience new things because he's stuck at home because of COVID-19, which he does mention.
Can't have his friends come over.
Yeah, and he can't go out. He says even like he can't like feel the grass. He can't like taste new things because that's like the haha funny.
He literally got a dog just to keep him company, essentially.
Yeah. And when he like licks the spider in part 4, like Rohan's always doing weird stuff to get inspiration. So it shows how like being under lockdown like inhibits inspiration and creativity.
Yeah.
And then also having to deal with like deadlines. Everything compounds to really stress Rohan out.
And his editor, like, you know, either as we learned, like the joke with her, but it's just like kind of having ulterior motives. Ulterior motives with like certain things of like, you know, especially with like his design of like what's it called? Because she's saying like, oh, you have to change the design in your manga because it resembles Mickey Mouse, but not Mickey Mouse.
I love that they never actually say it. They're very like coy with the way that they talk about it. They're like 3 circles design. That's like, we can't really do that. Everyone's gonna say you're plagiarizing the design.
Where the fuck is Mickey intensified?
Yeah, which is funny too because that felt like a part 6 callback too.
Yeah.
in a way. But I just really like. I mean, something that I think Araki's gotten very, very good at are just like the emotions that characters convey with his like close-up shots, and there's a lot of like really kind of wistful Rohan, like him just being depressed. Another thing too, I just love seeing Rohan get frustrated.
Yeah.
Because he's such a perfect character. Seeing him get frustrated is really satisfying because it's relatable. It's like, I too am frustrated. I can't go outside.
Whether you're a writer or like in any kind of industry, like really you had that kind of creative block or just like something just like heating your inspiration, your creativity, and it really does suck. It gets you no matter what field. It does get to you. This like the isolation or like even the stress of the entire pandemic can just get to your brain. But yeah, wait,
one thing I want to say about that. So just kind of connecting to real life, like, I mean, COVID-19 is still happening.
Yes.
The pandemic is technically still happening.
Yes.
But things have eased up, like with vaccines. Right now we're in like the warmer months where like flus and viruses generally do worse. And by that I mean they don't infect as many people.
Yeah.
So we're in a lull right now. So it feels like things are kind of normal.
But there is another pickup right now for COVID-19.
Oh wait, is there another pickup?
Yeah.
Oh, I know there's a new variant that I've heard about.
Oh boy.
But so yeah, maybe I'm jinxing myself, but it's like when I was like deep into COVID, when I like the lockdown was like real and like you couldn't go anywhere and there were real restrictions, I hated the idea of reading stories about like so many webcomics and like comic artists were doing stories about like, oh, how hard it is with lockdown. And it just made me like mad and sad. Like I didn't want to like sit down and engage with that media at the time.
You wanted to read media where you had that escape of that.
Yeah, I think it's the escape. Yeah, it was like annoying to confront it, but now that we're like more removed from
It's called an isekai, where you have that being stuck inside thing, then you go outside, get hit by a truck, and get transported to a fantasy world with no COVID-19.
Oh, if only.
Transported to a fantasy world with COVID-19.
What if COVID-19 was a cute anime girl though? No.
Don't give them mobile game ideas, because they did that with Harriet Tubman. Remember, with the magical girl.
Oh my god, I forgot about
Remember
that. Oh my god, no. But so now that we're a little further out of it and like things have changed, things are a lot more open. Personally, I've been able to like I really related to the story. I connected with it kind of deeply. So I really appreciate it now. But during it, I was like so unwilling to engage with that kind of story. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But
I was an essential worker, so I kind of had to be out and about, unfortunately.
Yeah, no.
So.
That's, I mean, that makes it hurt even more, kind of, I would say.
I just didn't want to be, I got, like, yeah, that was more stress of being around people, just because, like, I know how bad people are out in the field, so, like, I don't want to be around them. They're gross, or people just don't want to wear masks and everything. It was just stressful, because, like, people are just JoJo civilians. They're just being horrible cretins. Like I don't want to see their faces.
Yeah, masks help with that.
Yeah, I can curse at people through a mask. But
all right, we can return to this. I just wanted to kind of talk about, because like we are what 3 years into since COVID-19 started.
Pretty around that. 2 or 3 years.
Approaching 3 years, if not already. But it's just I don't know. Like this story came at a good time. Like reading this, I kind of finally was able to like. All right, I'm okay seeing COVID-19 portrayed in stories now.
Japan was like it's like super like strict with everything, but like didn't really do it. But like,
which they had really bad outbreaks too.
Yeah, they had very bad outbreaks. They were really bad with getting the vaccine and everything, but like everything else. But just having to be isolated probably even worse, especially when you're a super densely populated country like that is probably even like crazier for him.
Yeah, we have a friend who was in Korea during the time, and for them it was like. Pretty much like lockdown is like a lockdown. Like you can't leave. Like you can't leave your house. Like people come and like they give you food. Like they send government workers give you food. That is not a reality in the U.S. I think Japan had a similar sort of reaction to that. But
stores had tried to do a lot of what's it called, like basically bring to your car kind of stuff. But like and as I've seen over time, where people just stopped doing that because they want to go inside and shop, even though they're like, a perfectly good like. Contactless way to go shopping,
which is so much for me. I love that. Like ordering stuff from Target, for example, like it's just so easy to drive up and get it. Like even like grocery store too. Like we just always do that kind of thing.
But people are stubborn and like they just want to fucking go out, breathe on each other,
cough in each other's mouths. All right, let's return to the story. That was a little real talk from JOKAKAKA.
But but it's a typical JoJo thing of like Rohan's defending his design of being like the Celtic, I think it's like the Celtic circles. Like it's a Celtic symbol.
He's using the argument that like how can they say that they like copyright this design when this is like an ancient thing that people have been scrawling in like bathrooms.
The design of his character is like it reminds me of a mix of like a rock animal and like a fruit from Part 8.
It's totally to me this is totally supposed to be a Part 8 connection.
Yeah.
Like, I mean this is probably the most obvious like the allegory of Rohan being Iraqi is like,
but no, he said it wasn't though.
Sure, he probably like winked.
But we see his stalker fangirl with the alligator jump over his fence hilariously. Like in one panel in the background, you see her like trying to get over the fence with the alligator. And I really love that.
I love her. She's so good. I don't think she has a name. Does she get a name?
She might.
We know the alligator's name is Muchan.
My favorite. I love this alligator.
It's so fucking random, but I love it.
Like I said, Morio is the Florida of Japan.
It's true. It really is true. But yeah, so
Even-
he kind of he's really frustrated, so he's like, I'm just gonna fucking go for a walk. Come on, puppy. So he grabs his cute little puppy, Bakin.
yeah.
Which I love the scenes with the dog. The dog is so sad looking. It's so funny.
I mean, as we saw from Part 8, he likes drawing. He's in the sad dog era instead of like intimidating buff
Sad
dog era.
Well, we do get an intimidating buff dog shortly after,
But yeah, he sees like girl. He sees people and he's like trying to avoid them all, essentially.
yeah. Well, the one guy's like coughing.
He has his mask like halfway off, like coughing in front of the group of people with their mask on. Like very, very real, very realistic.
It's one of those things where I have had so many times where you're walking in like a store and someone coughs and you're just like trying to like shuffle away as fast as possible.
I got scared in the whole pandemic era because you know this. After I eat, my nose and runs horribly,
Yeah.
and I sneeze, and I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm like actually sick. Like this is like just a medical condition I have.
Yeah.
And like I swear I don't have COVID.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like one of my coworkers had a scratchy voice 2 weeks ago, and I was like, "Do you fucking have COVID?" I didn't say it to him, but my brain immediately like, "This motherfucker come to work with COVID." But we have to like, we have to hope that people have responsibility enough to test themselves, and choose not to. And yeah, I know. But all right. But I really just appreciate. There's a lot of monologuing, like of Rohan. We really get his like take on it. So he goes to like a temple. There's like a temple shrine.
Sacred tree.
And yeah, he finds it. So he finds 2 trees actually. He finds one tree, and then he's like, "Hey, that older tree looks like it should be the sacred
The older,
tree."
cooler tree.
And he's like,
But the tree with a shadow, the true self, and has the curse.
Kind of. But so yeah, he just disturbs the tree, and he finds like a little. So there's a mirror and like a little pot inside.
Yes.
And there's just one panel of the fucking dog where he looks like a ghost, and I love the way he looks. Look, Sam, I'm pointing at him. I just love the way the fucking dog
Sad
looks.
dog.
But so...
And it's also a great butt shot of Rohan.
Oh, was there?
The flat butt.
He does have a very flat butt here. But so... Which is funny because, what's his face? Oh my god, Planet Appraiser guy. What's his name? Mamazuku. He had a big booty. He had a huge booty.
Famously use it for thumbnails.
So we know we know that Araki can draw a big booty.
And if you pay attention to detail, when he looks at his phone, you can see how many months actually go by because it starts like with it gives you a time stamp essentially at the beginning of the chapter, and then you see it's October.
So yeah, it starts in July. It's very like classic Japanese summer thing. Like there's cicadas. It's really hot. And then, yeah, so he looks into the mirror, and then immediately he's still here. Like, he didn't move. He didn't go back or wake up. He's just, it's like a moment passes, and then he's like, whoa, why is it like October? But he also, it's funny because he's so like self-aggrandizing in this scene where he's like, haha, Rohan, you're so clever. Even during the pandemic, you're getting great experiences and enriching yourself to make better manga.
Rohan, you win again. And he grabs some bacon chicken.
Well, Bakin is the dog.
I know. This is the way it's baking chicken.
Bacon chicken. But so
his story, his hot Martha, as he called the sex move.
Martha Summer. But there's like a lot of cool little details where like his dog, even though his puppy shouldn't be teething already, he's already ripping stuff up. He's like noticing all these messages that he got in the time, and then the big thing is his manuscript that he was like fretting over. Oh, another detail we didn't mention: he spilled ink all over his manuscript.
And proms tomorrow.
And he was gonna have to redo it, but it's redone. And then he finds out that the story that he was writing, which wasn't finished, has been released, and it's all like popular. It's like one of the best manga of the year. Everyone fucking loves it.
Yeah.
And he's kind of fucking mad.
Freaking out. He's mad and freaking out.
So the big thing, it's really funny. So he doesn't really care too much that like he missed 3 months. Like 3 months are gone. He more cares that the design that he didn't want to have is the design that is the one that went forward, and he doesn't know why. And he's so mad at this. Which is very funny to me.
Imagine you have your OC and then you black out, and then you find out like someone changed your OC in your story, and like it became super popular. You'd be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so.
But
so the big change is that instead of being based on 3 circles, it now is 4 circles.
Sure, that's how you change it. It's but yeah, and then we see a from Final Fantasy, we see a Viera buddy girl silhouette. But it's the stalker that we saw before in her in.
So presumably she's naked in this first shot.
She is naked. She also has the collar with the chain on there around her neck.
So I really do love, this is hilarious. Rohan freaks out, he grabs a bat, and then he's like, what the fuck are you doing? And then she's like, oh, we're using that this time? And then she says, which one of us is the pitcher tonight? Which implies that she...
Evil Rohan's catcher.
Yeah, well, no. This implies that she may have pegged Rohan.
I know.
That is the implication.
Evil Rohan likes to get pegged.
Evil Rohan likes to be pegged, yeah. But so yeah, she's really hot. I don't know why Rohan has a problem with this.
She says out loud in typical JoJo fashion, I need to pee.
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I love that she has like handcuffs around her ankle too. It's just really funny.
Evil Rohan's in that weird kinky, like the kinky shit.
Yeah, and it's really funny to me that like the big realization for him that it's like October is he looks at a calendar. Like, bro, you looked at your
calendar
phone.
that's already crossed off her dates. So Evil Rohan still like, does cross it off the dates. He also like looks like security camera footage and sees himself like smugly taking her away.
Yeah.
And she borrows his polo shirt, which is really funny. Yeah, and that's when he sees the crocodile, and he uses Heaven's Door, which is really cool. I love Heaven's Doors. The visual effect of his the face page is always awesome looking.
It's really good. It's really cool too when we see different variations of it, like this one where it's kind of opening from the center of her face.
Oh, you actually see her name on her face. My name is Eve. 19 years old.
Right. Her name is Eve. That's right. Do you think she's supposed to be like non-Japanese then?
Maybe
with the name Eve.
I mean, she could just be a tourist.
It's true.
I mean, she could be from Florida. She has the crocodile, the alligator already. And
she's 19, which is hilarious.
She also played baseball with Sensei.
That's really fucking funny.
I was able to eat
cilantro today. We're just looking at this. Is really
Imagine
funny.
just being like, oh, I was able to stomach cilantro. I'm like, really? That's like you're super happy that you did
That's
today.
Funny. But there's I think the cool detail here is so Rohan is like checking to see if the time was actually like passed, and he's able to like flip through her face's like days,
the
like
calendars.
Each day is like is labeled, which
it's like a journal essentially.
Yeah.
He's going through, which is really cool.
And that's a way for him to really confirm it, because as we learn, Heaven's Door only shows the truth. Which is interesting. I don't know what that means.
Yes.
Because these things seem to be like... I'm trying to think back in part 4 if there was a time when like things that weren't true were displayed, like things that were like opinions.
No, it was true. And then he blew up because Killer Queen was in there.
That's right.
little tiny Killer Queen came out.
I love the little tiny Killer Queen. Okay, moving forward.
Like I said, the only time it literally when they had to nerf it was like rock paper scissors kid. Like he learned the truth, but like the kid was like literally just like you can't. This is not Darby power. It doesn't. It's gonna turn it off. But like yeah.
So he freaks out. He goes back to the shrine, and then right before he opens it again, he's like, "Wait, maybe I should talk to these fucking Shrek. Maybe I should talk to Shrek's children."
These fucking JoJo civilians.
So I really love these two characters.
Little did you know they were former security guards in Green Dolphin Prison.
I like that they are father and son. And then the father just repeats like a lot of the same phrases the son says. It's a very funny like little quirk.
It's always a thing that they do for kind of duo characters like that, or familial characters.
It's funny. These guys are absolutely hideous. They look disturbing and gross.
They're just JoJo creatures.
So basically, we learn what the whole deal is. So similar to the Millionaire Village and the kind of the Mutsukabe Hill, it's kind of like more of a yokai. There's more of like a weird kind of spiritual.
I think I've heard this kind of story before of like kind of having like a shadow self go off to be you for a little bit. While
it's called Persona 4.
Well,
no, I'm kidding. No, but it's very interesting because I feel like we don't really have an equivalent in the West. The closest thing that I was kind of thinking of was Rip Van Winkle, which is the whole thing where the guy falls asleep for 20 years and when he wakes up, like Civil War happened. No, the Revolutionary War happened.
Yeah. I think at the end of these, like the translators put a bunch of like author notes. I'm gonna like go to look at now.
But so we learn that basically what's happening is there's a spirit, or they call it just like the inhabitant of the tree. It's called Yababuko Hoshi.
Mm-hmm.
Who can like immediately, based on just getting the reflection, can completely replicate Rohan, and it sort of traps Rohan or traps whoever it reflects.
It's like a stasis kind of thing.
Yeah, like a perfect stasis. And it lives your life for a period of time. So they make a reference to another story in this that I'm not... So
yes, I actually got it up here
Okay,
on the translator notes. So
what's it say?
Urashima Taro is the protagonist of a Japanese fairy tale who is rewarded for rescuing a turtle. He spends what he believes to be several days underwater in the dragon palace, but discovers he was actually gone for 100 years. After opening the forbidden box he received as a reward, he becomes an old man.
Oh, that's actually one of the very first anime ever made. That's what it adapts that story. It's like it was made in like the 40s. It's like one of the very first official anime. I forget what it's called. It's probably just called that guy's name.
Probably.
But so that's kind of a similar. That's almost kind of like a Rip Van Winkle reference too. But so yeah, and so foolishly they basically say, hey, yeah, flip the mirror around, and all the
just
bad
don't look
things
in the
that
mirror.
he did will go away. Yeah, just don't look in the mirror. But
oh yeah, use my stand because that I'm technically not looking at, even though I can usually see through the eyes of my stand as we see in a JoJo.
Which I think it's really funny that he thinks that, because like we know that the stand is just a mere reflection of your soul.
Rohan didn't get all the stand information from anybody, I guess.
So yeah, obviously this doesn't work. Another 3 months pass, and then so I was horrified when he came back to his house. So he doesn't realize that 3 months passed again.
I thought the dog was like toward the shreds by like or something. Or
Yep, that was what I thought too. I was really scared for that puppy.
I like how his phone doesn't die though. In like I said, time
He's in perfect stasis.
I know, it's so funny.
But so yeah, so it's not presumably like the dog just kills the alligator and like rips it to shreds,
which is insane to think about. Other than like Rohan holding the alligator is really funny. Of like the torn part. Also, like I guess the little mini alligator just didn't grow. It's something about it, it's the crocodile, or I think
maybe it's like a dwarf alligator. Maybe there's like a special species.
That's what she bought.
A special like a genetic species that doesn't grow a certain size. But yeah, basically now he's in January, so a whole half year has passed. His dog is now like a horrifying, gross monster. Presumably, like the Shadow Rohan trained him to be an asshole.
A dog fighter. Dog fighting.
Which this is really scary. Like
yeah.
The way his dog looks is actually legitimately scary, and it made me sad. Losing
all this time and like someone else doing all this shit that you did not want to do is like horrifying.
Yeah, and it sucks. And one of the funniest parts to me is he goes up to his room and you see the fucking thing, like the little creature that he designed for his manga, the rock thing, and he's like, damn it, they turned it into a figure. Because I was like, oh, is it going to be like a monster? Is that going to be the mastermind here? It's like, no, they just made a figure out of it, which is really funny.
It is really funny.
It's a very funny like misdirect.
But it's also just like Araki talking, just like losing his time in his life.
Yeah, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about it at the end.
Okay.
Because like I think that's kind of the main theme of this.
Yeah. So
let's finish up the overview.
We see his editor like knocked out in the drugged up inside the closet.
Yeah, she's not breathing. She's like about to die.
She's like drooling, like
foaming at the mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gross.
Maybe she just ate a really tasty piece of meat and she just is loving it.
And then Rohan gets stabbed in the neck and Eve is drugging him.
So Eve is just like a crazy psycho fan,
like typical Moria women.
Yeah, typical.
There are
Moria
no sane Moria women.
And
name one.
She just is like immensely jealous. It's very much kind of like a Yukakako.
Yes.
Sort of move.
Rohan doesn't dream of Bunny Girl Senpai.
No. I guess she is a bunny girl. I didn't even realize that. It's funny because like in some shots they look like creepy alien ears. They don't even look like bunny ears.
Yeah.
But so yeah, she drugs him and he's dying.
You'll be mine forever.
And it's funny too because she's like, oh, I know that you like knocked me out last time with some weird power, so I'm gonna like not get near you so that you can't do that to me again.
Also, there's a line where she says like, I don't want to be a single mother. You hear?
So she got impregnated by Shadow Rohan, which
evil Rohan impregnates women.
That's a horrifying idea. What is this child? Is this child going to be like born evil? Because it's like literally
born evil.
It's going to be. I mean, it's like Damien. It's like
I know, but this is also JoJo, where like people can just also just be born evil like throughout the movie. As we saw from Managed Boy in part 3.
Part 3. Like I feel like this is a horrifying, and we know it has like the proclivity to have a stand, so that it could possibly be a horrifying villain.
Learn from like Giorno, you couldn't be born from the most absolute evil, but still come out kind of good
That's
despite
true.
being a mob boss.
Yeah, we can't call Giorno a good guy.
He's better than every other gangster though in Italy, as we've seen.
That's like the funniest like caveat.
He's
like...
the best. He's the best bad guy in Italy.
Yeah, he's the best bad guy.
Remember, no, you forget their entire gang was good to the community. Like,
it's true. They got Sam. They didn't want to bring the drugs in.
They were trying to stop the drugs.
They were trying to stop the drug trade. It was evil Diavolo that wanted the drug trade.
He would spread those drugs.
I love the idea of like, okay, what's the mafia gonna do then? Like if it's not the drugs, then what
Protection
are they?
money.
Yeah, basically it's just gonna be Giorno making like mist to go around and like rough people up.
We got a
for
hit
money.
job. There's no need for a hitman team anymore when they're all dead.
Yeah, it's such a hilariously like romanticized version of what the mafia
Was
is.
it? I think I heard something where like is it implied or said where like Trish becomes like an idol or is an idol?
I think you're insane.
I think I read something about like Trish is or becomes an idol, and you can probably get all the money from her idol career now.
I think you read a fan fiction and you're confusing it with reality.
I don't think I'm wrong.
Tell us in the comments, dear viewers. All right, but so back to the story. So even though her plan is I'm not going to get near Rohan, Rohan still tricks her and makes her come near so that he can touch her.
Or he's like,
and make her do a command.
I open my hand. You read it like a book to learn. If I really do love you, like, aren't you interested in that? I won't do anything. I swear. And he's like, dumbass. It's like,
yeah, he smacks her. Then he makes her go to the hill and turn the mirror.
It's such a way Rohan would do.
This is such a great conclusion because it not only punishes her, but it also solves all of Rohan's problems.
Also, it is completely in Rohan's character to do it like this.
Oh, it's perfect. Yeah, it's also like kind of the only way to do it because he tried doing it with his stand and he couldn't. I guess he would need to do it in like pitch black, like as long as there be no reflection.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
I also love just her like wandering towards there with her face like as the pages still. I just love that aesthetic
it's really
so
cool.
much.
Also, the image of like her coming out. So she like freezes, and then the other version of her comes out of her body. Like
so that means
mirror.
Is she good then? Is she the good
the
version?
shadow version of her.
Is the shadow version the good version?
It's interesting because she seems like the same basically.
But she's standing there like return the slab.
Yeah, she's very menacing, but then she kind of goes back to her thing. So it's almost like Rohan kind of does her a solid, or does this. I forget the name of the spirit, but does like the shadow spirit a solid by giving him like a new host for 3 months.
Also, my all-time favorite no context JoJo out of recent like years is him like hold on, thinking you forgot this, and just him like scurrying down the alligator. It's like the funniest thing to me.
It's very hilarious.
It's like, even with context, it's really dumb.
It's just also hilarious to me that there's like a belt around the alligator's mouth so it can't bite you.
Rohan descending it by its tail is like hilariously cruel.
Yeah.
Like this alligator probably, even if it's a miniature like a dwarf one, it's like still probably weighs a decent amount of weight.
Yeah. But so yeah, and then all the ill effects of the Shadow Rohan go away. The dog is now nice. They aren't currently drugged. All the syringes go away.
And as we learned that the editor was the one that changed the design, like there was nothing actually wrong with his design. She just didn't like it.
Yeah, she kind of like lied about going in and changing the manuscript. And then it really ends, and it's interesting because it brings up like this woman in 3 months is gonna return. Like I guess you could say that
Rohan's got a gun now.
Like I guess the influence of evil Rohan isn't there, but she's still gonna like come. Like she's not dead. She's not gone. She's just gonna be like a shadow for 3 months.
Rohan probably still gonna stay home, and she's really gonna have to try to sneak into his house and try to inject him with drugs. But I think we're getting another Rohan next month as well.
That's great. Honestly, these are so wonderful. I really enjoy these.
I think it's a part 1 too, like a part.
What?
It's gonna be like a 2-part Rohan story, but I think I'm gonna get the first part next month.
Ooh,
there was a title for it, but I forget. If I can find it, but I also get that, and we get horror. But overall, I really enjoyed like the theme of it's just Rocky saying like how much time of his life he actually lost, and
yeah, which that to me is like the most relatable aspect to it, because that's especially 2020. Like I really felt like 2020 was kind of like stolen from me, and probably a lot of people feel that way too, where everything was kind of ground to a halt. Like I lost my job at the time because of COVID and other things. It was also just not a great job. But there was just like such a kind of like stagnation where it really felt like I wasn't getting anything done. I wasn't really progressing. And yeah, it was almost like you kind of woke up and it was like, oh my God, like 3 months just passed.
I know, it just...
And using the dog as like a way to kind of illustrate that. And also this whole like theme of like waking up and your life being like wrong. Like I really like that because I think that's also really relatable.
Yeah, it's also horrifying.
Yeah, it's really scary because like we are basically our decisions, and when we have to like confront things that aren't our decision, like the result of our actions, it's like scary. Like I don't want to have to deal with that.
Losing control of your life.
I don't know what Shadow Jim would do. What the fuck? He'd be a dastard for sure.
But and then that and probably maybe he had to deal with a hostile fan at one point, so he just been like, I can put this in there too, as this crazy lady that visited my house with an alligator.
Yeah, that really is funny. I wonder how autobiographical that character is.
Or is this a trip to Florida and you just saw someone like casually walking around with an alligator.
With bunny ears.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there was like a Florida story of like someone throwing like an alligator into the window of a drive-thru.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I probably like my favorite one that I've read so far of a Rohan one-shot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was a treat. It was a treat and a pleasure to read.
But I really want to like I'm waiting for the other short stories to come out.
Your first short story and your first short story?
Yeah, in the same room. Lisa one I think is supposed to be written by the guy who did it's gonna be written by Junjo Shido.
Oh, these aren't gonna be Iraqi ones?
The Lisa one and the Iggy one are not Iraqi, I believe. Just the Rohan ones are the Iraqi. We're getting like another trip like the Jolene ones and stuff.
I'm down for that. I'm always excited to read more.
Like I said, I'm super excited to see Lisa actually like, be able to do stuff and not get jobbed out because editors told him you can't have a female character be that badass. They were like, "Fuck you, Lisa's awesome." But try to find the other. I saw before I left. I saw the information of like the upcoming stuff, and now I just can't find it when I pull it up like on my phone. But like. But yeah, I'm excited. Like, this is good food to have while we're in the long-winded no batches, no JoJo lands, like era that we're in.
We're in a weird time, so I'm really happy that we have this to kind of chew on. Like as I think I've said before, I'd be okay with JoJo ending if Iraqi can do these cool anthologies forever, like.
So next month is going to be Thus Spoke episode 11, Drip Painting Style, part 1.
Ooh.
So
I appreciate that he's like doing different things in this little hiatus from JoJo.
Yes.
So we know that he's like planning more. Like we know more JoJo is coming, so it's just a waiting game, I guess.
Yeah, we're stuck here in the waiting room, but we're not without content.
Yeah.
We have more Rohan. We have more Whole Horse. Like. We're fed good. Just enjoy the media we're getting. Like, don't just keep supporting JoJo. That's the important thing.
Oh yeah,
like
by that you mean reading scans.
Reading scan. I want to try. I wanted to buy the magazine, but it's like you can buy it off of like the Japanese version of Amazon, but I'm not sure how much shipping would be or having that navigate through trying to buy it off through there.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I know that there was some American bookstore that. I saw on Twitter they were advertising that they had some of the JoJo. Some of the JoJo magazines.
I've been to like a bookstore, it's like a kind of a Japanese bookstore. It's huge in New York City, and it's just like it had like 3 stories, and like the basement layer had like a lot of the magazines, like the Shonen Jump. I saw Ultra Jump there, but it was only like the most recent one. Only had a Whole Horse, which I kind of just wanted I wanted to see if they had older ones, but unfortunately. But there's certain bookstores you can get it if they have like that kind of like a Japanese area you can kind of go to.
Mm-hmm.
Which if I went back to the bookstore there, I probably could find it, which would have been great. But
yeah.
But yeah, as I said, just keep enjoy Whole Horse, enjoy Rohan stuff, and like even it's enjoying the Jolene one we got. Like, I enjoyed that one. It was a wild ride. I enjoyed it.
I was cracking up at that one.
Yeah, and just we're not gonna have any more Attack on Titan. We're not gonna have like it's gonna be an interesting time till we get JoJo Land information.
Yeah. We have some fun other stuff that we want to do on the channel. We really appreciate y'all supporting us too. But as far as like our main stuff, the JoJo chapter reviews, we're gonna have to deal with this from now on.
Yeah, we're still doing Whole Horse. So read along with us with those, and We still have those other series we're doing. Like Attack on Titan's gonna be one last episode from
We
this
got
recording.
one more. We got one more until the movie comes out.
And then we can start the other series, the Sam Pick series.
Yeah, which I'm really excited. I've been thinking about that a lot lately.
Yeah. And we recently has 2 more additional seasons on top of that going to be coming out this year, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anything else you wanna throw in there?
Um.
We're gonna have JoJo All Star Battle R in like September.
Oh.
So
That actually looks better than I thought. I was kind of a negative when I heard it was just going to be a remake of a fighting game. Not even a remake, a remaster.
it's a remaster, but there might be addition added. There's some added stuff to it though.
Yeah, I know there's new content, but still.
New content, yeah. But until we get any information for us to speculate off of like character designs, it's gotta be patient with us.
Yeah.
Be patient with a Rocky. let the man rest. Let him get some like creativity, like refreshment.
The man is literally telling us that he's starved for creativity. Like, give him some time
Yes.
to get out in the world again and get inspired. And yeah, I relate.
Yeah.
I'm dying to get back in the world.
Yeah. Just say you gotta wait till fall to get more batches of Part 6. Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all I've got to say. I really enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for listening.
Yeah. Again, it's a little JOKAKAKA out of nowhere.
Yeah,
we love a good little... I guess this would be. It's kind of funny that at the beginning of the month, where we probably have another one coming out with the Full Horse chapter. Because we combined 3 and 4 last episode. If you haven't listened to that one, you can go back and listen to our chapter 3 and 4. I guess I can plug it up now.
Yeah, plug it up.
All right. Yeah. Thank you all for listening. Like I said, you can check out the other videos of like the Whole Horse chapters or the other one shots that we've done and covered.
If you're a fan of Attack on Titan, we do that.
Yes, and Jujutsu Kaisen. We just had a Jujutsu Kaisen 0 episode as well. You can also have them subscribe. You can like and comment as well. We said plenty of times, but your opinions or anything that me and Jim got right and or wrong, go ahead. You can join the Discord also in the link below, and I believe that's all the plugs, right?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
All right. And with that, we'll see you, I guess, when the next Ultra Jump jumps out in the middle of the month, though. Yeah.
All right. And until then, have a nice April.
Yes. We are in April. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
You didn't lose track of time, did you?
Almost. Well, brought me 3 months in the future. All right.
Back to the future.
There's 3 months in the future.
Back to the future.
All right. Goodbye.